Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, uh, coming at you with my Flosstube update number 220. Um, Today is Saturday, February 12th, uh, 2022, and I obviously don't know what month it is. Anyway, right away I want to talk about this pimple on my nose. I had a little tiny pimple and I made a mistake of plucking at it, and so yeah, now I have a little dot on my nose. Anyway, sorry. The other thing is, I wanted to say that, I think I had talked about before how I had injured my finger, and my fingernail is still kind of going the wrong way. Kind of messed up. If you can really see there's sort of a lump there. There's a little bump on my nail. And it's, it's all janky as I smashed in the door. And it's finally growing out. And like the little section there was a section that had like a kind of a blood blister. And so there's a big dent in my finger and all that. But it finally grew out to the point where this part of the nail where I had smashed it was kind of like wanting to come loose and come off, and so I had a band-aid on it first, but then I couldn't stitch because the sticky edge of the band-aid kept catching on everything, and so I had to just I was able to trim it off, and I had to file it down smooth, and so my fingers all messed up, right? But it's so I'm just waiting for the dented part to grow out. But then the other day, a few days ago, I made these little tortilla roll-ups. They're like a tortilla, and you put cream cheese and green chili and a little bit of garlic salt. They're really good. Rolled it up tight, put it in the freezer overnight, and in the morning, I made them for Bible study. Bible study on Tuesday morning. We have breakfast, and it was my group's turn to provide breakfast stuff. So anyway, I was cutting these tortilla roll-ups a little bit early because I wanted them to thaw a little bit before we ate. So I got up in the morning and I'm cutting away, and and they're hard because they're frozen. And I had a little a serrated bread knife. I was cutting, and this one was kind of stubborn, and I was holding it, firmly, and I accidentally stuck my finger underneath, and I caught it with the knife, and I was like, ah! I felt, that was my finger. Fortunately, I didn't bleed on the tortilla or anything like that, but I cut my nail kind of below the quick a little bit, and so I was able to sort of put a band-aid on it, and because this finger is less crucial for stitching, it was, having a band-aid there wasn't a problem. But then every time I went to wash my hands, if I go to the bathroom and wash my hands, the band-aid would come off, and I'd have to, put another band-aid on there or whatever. And so after a while, I just, stopped putting a band-aid on it. And I could stitch it as long as I didn't catch the thread on the nail and everything. And a couple times I did, I was like, and so I finally, was able to sort of trim my nail. I was like, I keep injuring myself. Stitching is dangerous business. Anyway, so hopefully I'm beyond all the injuries now. I stitch a little more. Oh, and last week I talked about the fact that I had tangled my green silk thread, and fortunately I was able to painstakingly untangle it, and you can't tell from here compared to last week, but I did finally untangle my silk thread, thankfully. Anyway, so the same 4 projects I was working on last time, I am still working on them. And I did buy one new pattern. I'll let you take a look at that on my phone. I don't have, it hasn't come in the mail yet, but it should be any day now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, since this is about cross stitch and not about injuries. So this is Voyage of Discovery. It's a Stoney Creek pattern. And this is the what it would look like when it's finished. It's almost full coverage. This is done in half stitches, half cross, stitches. And there's some cryonic down here in this little gold nameplate, and the edges of the banner down here are going to be gold with cryonic, and then the rest. And I think this is done in half stitches also. Excuse me, as I recall from the instructions. But for now, I've just been working on a white on the clouds and the sails. So I finished, which direction did I go? This direction. And, and this up here, these clouds, and the top of this sail, and all these clouds over here, I finished all of this. These are other colors that are going there. And in here, this is white. I haven't done that yet. And then there's, it's more complicated down here to get to the ship. And then, of course, there's two other ships on either side. But, and then this is done in, there's some grays, that go in here. And there's like missing stitches here that are gray. And I think one of these I accidentally stuck a white stitch in there, but that's something that either I can go over it or I can just leave it. And then the same thing up here, right here, this little gap, this part of the banner is supposed to be one stitch over. It's supposed to be 3 stitches instead of 2 right here. And as I was doing this, I thought, okay, well, somehow this doesn't meet up. The number of, didn't have the number of stitches weren't right or whatever, But fortunately, it's just a cloud behind there, and it doesn't really matter. So I'm fudging a little bit to because the alternative would have been to take out all of this and redo it, and I was like, I ain't gonna do that. So nobody's gonna know the difference, really. And so yeah. So this cloud area continues a bit under here, and then and I think it continues over here too. Yeah. So anyway, that is I think 4 days so far for the month working on Voyage of Discovery. It's 2/2. I dyed this fabric myself. I have 3 other ship patterns that have this same kind of fabric. It looks very much like the sky and the sea and all that. So there's that. And then I also worked on this one. I'm doing for Cross Stitch Camp, and this is one of my WIPGOs. This is number 17 on my WIPGO on my WIPGO board, and the challenge that I put for myself is 10 days working on it, and so far I think I put in 4 days. So I think that goal will be met eventually. And then I'm also I think I'll do my other WIPGO thing since we're on the subject of WIPGO. And I was just working on this today. I'll probably work on this some more as the day goes on. But this is, you can't tell from looking at this, but this is Peacock. It's a Design Works kit. Designed by Nicola Gregory. Very pretty. I've had a lot of really nice comments of people talking about how pretty this is. And it came with the threads and kit Ada, white Ada in the kit, and I just dyed the fabric. It's a light purple color, yeah. And so far I'm working on just this lighter blue color. And actually, I was looking at the pattern going, maybe I gotta do some of the purple. Because I'm getting kind of, I really, this lighter blue color, there's some more, but it's further away and harder to count. So I think I'm gonna, I was looking at the design, and there is some purple that I can put in easily, and maybe some dark green. This down here, this green toward the bottom, and some of this purple, and, you know. So I may do some of that just to do something different. But so yeah. So right now I'm working on over here today. I'm finishing this area up here. So that is Peacock. Sorry. So that was my WIPGO number 5. So 5 and 17 were the numbers that were called for this month. So, and that one also, I have 10 days as the goal. And I think today is day number 4 on that as well. So yeah, 4 days on the Voyage of Discovery, and I think today is the 4th day of the Peacock. 4th or 5th day, I don't know. So then, besides WIPGO, I'm also doing Winter Cross-Stitch Camp. Sherry Truexberger is, she did cross-stitch camp in the summer, basically a virtual retreat, virtual stitch challenge. And the challenge for this month was to start on February 1st and hopefully finish by the 28th. And do a monochromatic piece. So, like I said before, I'm stitching on Gathering Berries, Vista Pursel, Luminous Fiber Arts. She has 4 patterns in the series. Some people are, I saw just one just today or yesterday. Gathering Clover, they're doing, which is an all green one. But so this is berries. And so I started off at the center, and I was doing the border, got around here, got to the end of a thread, and I thought, I don't want to do this border anymore for now. I want to do something different. And so I started on the tail of one of the birds here. Before it got too late and I got too tired. But yeah, I've been working on this bird tail. And this is, I did stitch 2 over 2 on Lugana, I think, or even weave, I don't remember. But I dyed this myself. It's also kind of a purplish color. But this is Bingy Cherry, and I can't remember. It's not Weeks, so it must be Classic Colorworks, I think. Is that what they're called? Classic Colorworks. Yeah. Bingy Cherry. Which is, I just love this color. It's so rich, and I love it. So that is Winter Cross Stitch Camp, but also all of these count toward the 30 minutes a day of I Love to Stitch 2022, which I'm also doing. So each of these pieces, no matter what I'm working on, counts toward that I Love to Stitch goal. And so the other thing I'm doing is this February Rabbit. And it's not specific to any challenge, except that it, I'm working on what I bought all of these last year, but and I only have done one of them, the January one. So my basic goal is to do one every month for the rest of the year, so I can finish, all 12 of them. So this is the February one, and they're very small and basically very quick. Probably if I, concentrated on just it alone, I could probably finish it in a week or so, because it's very small. So I did. this flower pot, and these flowers, and this bunny, and then the flower pots, I should say, this flower, and I did the flower pots, and these little leaf figures or whatever in the middle here. And I did the pots and these little things because they're the only places those colors occur. Excuse me. So now I'm done with this brown, the acorns, and this is quince blossom. So these are all Gloriana silks, and I'm stitching one thread over two. And this is 32 count Murano Carré in pink splash. You see the little dots on there. No, my fabric is not dirty. It's basically a white with little pink spots on it. So, so this is stitching very nicely. I love the silks. They're very nice to work with. Except I have to like put lots of lotion stuff on my hands so I don't snag them with my snaggy hands. So, yeah. So this is really, really cute. And stitching up very nicely. And that's all I've got. Stitching on the same old things over and over again. But I did buy a new pattern. And it was kind of funny because it was like a bad timing kind of thing. I had ordered the needle minders for the I Love to Stitch came in the other day, and so Dawnette had sent an email or whatever saying, if the needle minder's in, make sure go to the website and and you can order the needle minder and it has free shipping, and then if there's anything else you want to order from our website, you can get free shipping on that as well. So I went to embroidery.com and I was looking and I was like, yeah, I can't think of anything else that I want necessarily. So I just got the needle minder. And then there was some kind of an issue with the free shipping thing. When you went to get it, it didn't offer free shipping as one of the options, whatever. So I just went ahead and paid the shipping cost, but then I got it refunded back to me. But then so then I went. I was trying to order something on the video game that I played, Diggy's Adventure. And I was trying to make a purchase on there. But I had just recently gotten my credit card from my bank, and my new credit card for the month, because my old one was expiring at the end of the month. So they sent me a new one, and I had to activate it. And so when I went to make the purchase in the game, I have my card on Google Pay, and so my old card was in there, and I hadn't updated it, so I went, so the payment wouldn't go through. So I thought, oh yeah, okay, I had to change it in Google Pay, but the game doesn't let you update it. You have to go to Google Pay to update it, and I didn't want to do that right then. So I had watched Cheryl McKinney, Tranquil Stitches. I'd watched her Flosstube, and she had mentioned a pattern, and so I went ahead and ordered that on 123 Stitch, and I placed that order, and I was able to update my credit card and all that in Google Pay, and so that was fun. And then I got an email from Dawnette saying, just double checking if you wanted to order anything. I was like, I already ordered the pattern from 123 Stitch, and so I said, no, I don't want to order anything else. And then I saw a couple of other patterns. I was like, well, I want those too. So I might get those. I haven't decided yet. But the pattern that I ordered from 123 Stitch is this one by Cottage Gardens. Let me turn my phone a little bit so it doesn't. But look at that Jackrabbit. And this is part of a series I had seen. I think it was on Just Keep Stitching. Pam and Steph on Just Keep Stitching had talked about these, and I sort of only half listened. I guess I wasn't really paying close attention, but Stephanie had talked about the other ones in this series. This series is called I think Woodland Creatures, and let me see if I've got pictures of some of the other ones in that series. Year in the Woods, it's called. So by Cottage Garden Samplings. So there's the Jackrabbit is number 3, and the other ones they have are this number 1 is the fox. Isn't that adorable? And number 2 is the swans. Yeah, they're really pretty. I don't know if I want. I kind of want the fox. I don't think I want the swans, but I don't know if I want the whole 12-part series. They're pretty big. I think they're like 100 by 103 or something like that, or 100 by I don't know what, but they're pretty big. Either 100 by 103 or 100 by 130, something like that. There's 3 involved in there somewhere. But let me see if I have the stitch count. Sorry. Let me look again. 100 by 130. Yeah. 100 wide by 130 high. So they're pretty big. But it's not full coverage, obviously. But I don't know if I want to do 12 of those. So I'm going to look at the rest of them and see. But I like the first 3 so far. Anyway, so I ordered the Jackrabbit, and that should be coming any day now. Next week, I guess, the beginning of next week, I'm hoping. Because I just got an email yesterday, I think, that it had shipped. So, I'll probably get it right after I finish this tomorrow. I mean, Monday or so, whatever. I know it didn't come today. But anyway, so I'm thinking I need to make my... I have, like a pile of patterns, of course. I have a notebook like this thick, full of patterns. And I was just trying to like organize some. I have a bag of things that I bought just in the last few months, couple months since December, I think, or something. But so I have like a stack, in a bag. I just have them set aside. So, yeah, I keep buying patterns. My sisters and I talked about this, the sable stash acquired beyond life expectancy. So, yeah. But I can't resist, but I was thinking about, maybe making a section of, just rabbit pattern, because I seem to be buying a lot of bunny patterns. This rabbit, and I have just, I just can't resist the bunnies. So I might have to have a section of my notebook that just bunny patterns. And maybe I can do all the bunnies or something like that. Yeah. so like I said, the Jackrabbit pattern is coming, and I kind of think I'm gonna have to look, but I have a piece of fabric that is very high count, like 40, I think 46 count. Um, and I've never done anything that small exactly. I've done some like towels, kitchen towel things that are pretty small. I don't know what the count is specifically on them, but it's smaller than like a like I've done 32 count where you're 2 over 2, right, over 2 threads. It's not that small, but with 46 count, I think is what the fabric I have is. 2 over 2, it would be pretty small. To 1 over 1, it would be even smaller. So I'll have to see. I don't know what the size of that piece of fabric is. And it's just white, so I would probably dye it the color of that. I can't remember what the name of that color is. In that picture, but it's kind of like it looks blue here on look at it on my phone, but it's really kind of like a beigey, greenish beige. It's hard to tell because it's on my phone, but more like a beige color, a mottled beige color. I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of the fabric is, but it wouldn't be hard to dye something appropriate to make it fit that. But oh my gosh, that Jackrabbit is so cute. But so yeah, I'm probably gonna stitch that soon. I have, on my WIPGO board, it has 25 slots on it, and surprisingly enough, I didn't have 25 whips on there. I have some things I haven't that I want to stitch that I haven't started yet. But so for the 3 empty slots that I had in there, I just put new start, whatever I wanted. So this technically is a new start also, because it wasn't part of my WIPGO board. So I could count that as one of my new starts. And this Jackrabbit is another new start. And on the WIPGO board, there's if you stitch on something that's on there already that she hasn't called yet, you might finish it off before it gets called, and or do whatever what it's called. So technically, I could call this one of my new starts, and then if that never gets called, I've already started it. I work on it and meet the goal, whatever. And so I might do that with Jackrabbit as well. Just slip it in there. And some of the other new patterns that I have, the bazillion new patterns that I have sitting around. I don't know. But so yeah. So maybe I'll get to start it this month as it is. One of my new starts. It could be a new start. Whether it gets called yet on WIPGO or not. Or maybe I'll just, on Jackrabbit, I can wait until that number gets called, if it gets called, this year. Not necessarily this month, but if it gets called, this year, then I can start it whenever that square gets called on my WIPGO board. So anyway, I think that's it for me. This is a very short video because it's all the same stuff, and I don't really have any, besides that Jackrabbit pattern, I don't have any, haul or anything like that to speak of that I haven't already talked about since, that I haven't already talked since last week. I don't have anything new. So that is it. And I think, yeah, I have like, with my sisters, with the Three Sisters Creative videos, we're pushing toward 200 subscribers. I think we have 185-ish. And so, if you're not a subscriber to that Sticks and Strings, the Sticks and Strings videos, go ahead and subscribe to that as well. It's me and my sisters, Eve and Naomi, and the three of us get together on we film on Fridays now, but the videos come out on Sundays. And we just, it's a sort of a, stitch along kind of thing. We talk about what we've been working on, and we work on something while we're talking. And then, so the three of us each share what we've been working on, and then funny stories of, during the week. And, yeah, so actually, if you tune into that channel, you'll hear the story of how I got lost this week. My my sister Eve lost me, sort of. Anyway, you can hear that story. So we're pushing to hit 200 subscribers, and then we're going to have do something special when that happens. So, like I said, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to that channel, and tell all your friends, so that we can hit that 200 mark. And here on this channel, I'm at about 270 something. And so, yeah, you can, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button, and hit the little bell to alert you when a new video is available, and help me get to 300 subscribers. And trying to think of something I can do, something special I can do for that landmark. Anyway, so I will see you next week. And I think that's about it. That's it. I think, yeah. So there's the Winter Cross Stitch Camp challenge, and the I Love the Stitch challenge, and WIPGO. I'm doing all three of those, as well as One Strand a Night, the group that I'm a part of, and I'm posting. So I post there regularly as well. So yeah, and then I haven't mentioned our Etsy shop lately, but go ahead and go there. And I think we have a sale going on there. Hold on one second. Just double checking. It's 20% off of 2 items or more from our Etsy shop. And so go in there, check it out. There are scissor fobs and needle minders and PDF patterns, and project bags, notions pouches. Yeah, go there and see if there's something that you like. There's seasonal scissor fobs. There's Halloween, Christmas, as well as just generic ones for various, the charms of various interests, and the needle minders as well. And so, yeah. One thing that's been kind of fun is that, like, we recently had an order from a friend that a girl that we went to school with, to high school with, probably junior high as well, I don't even remember. Because a lot of kids that we went to school with, we knew from, some from elementary school, some from junior high through high school. The school that we went to, that it was kind of like almost like living in a small town. Kids you knew from, elementary school all the way through high school, in our neighborhood, certainly. And this girl, Vicky, that we knew at least from high school, if not from junior high. She was in the band and she was a cheerleader, and you know, and now not too long ago I saw her on Facebook. So we're friends. She and I are friends on Facebook, but she also has ordered through our Etsy shop, which is, it's kind of fun to you know, connect with old friends like that. Anyway, so yeah, go to the Etsy shop and check it out. Three Sisters Creative. And I'll have a link. I always have a link to the Etsy shop in the description box below. And I think that is it. Yeah, so I will see you next week. And until then, happy stitching. Bye.